today I've decided to do something a little bit different. I really love creating things, and I figured today we're going to create these little mushroom houses. I'll put a little photo here of kind of what I'm thinking, but yeah, I think it is just going to be so much fun, and I just want to create a whole video about the process and yeah, the things that I use, because we created our little planter pots with clay a couple of weeks ago. I'll also put the photos here of them, but I just absolutely loved making them and it was so much fun, so I thought I would try and expand my skills a little bit. I just used this clay. It's $8.50 from Kmart and it's oven baked clay, and it's so easy. You just make literally whatever you want to make. You just put it in the oven at 120 degrees Celsius fan forced for 30 minutes. And yeah, that's literally it. I've just got these tools that I bought from Spotlight. Now that they've just stopped being loud, thank you. So I basically just got like a little thing to work on, so I'm not working directly on the table. And yeah, let's make some little mushroom fairy garden things. Basically, you just want to knead the clay until it's nice and soft and that you can do stuff with it, because it's pretty rock hard when it comes out of the packet. So kind of just like push it until you can form it into any shape you like. If you want to make anything super precise, you can obviously grab a rolling pin and some baking paper. So the rolling pin isn't directly on the clay because it has like that wood texture that would show up on the clay. So if you just pop this down on your surface, baking paper, and then a rolling pin, if you want to make it like perfect and exact, that's another way to do it. But I want this one to look very not exact, if that makes sense. I want it to look very handmade and unique. So that's sort of the vibe I'm going for here. Basically just getting all of the shapes roughly how I want them. So this is going to be the little stem of the mushroom. This is going to be like the flat part, and then I'm going to make the top of the mushroom with another piece of clay. And another tip I also have, if you've got clay that you're not using, like you're about to use but you're not using it, always keep it in like a Ziploc bag or somewhere super airtight, like a container or something, just so it doesn't dry out before you actually get to use it. Because once clay dries out, it becomes really, really, really hard to work with. So I've just gone and grabbed an old jar that we've saved for purely creative purposes, because when you're attaching pieces of clay together, the way that works the best is if you actually scratch the surface that you want to attach in like a crisscross sort of motion. also crisscross the part that is attaching to it, so both sides. And then to just dip your finger in water and just spread it across both sides of the crisscross area. And that sort of just helps the clay connect with the second piece, so it goes into the little scratches that you've made. So then you just want to press down quite hard. Essentially I'm left with this like really ugly lump, but I'm just gonna flatten all of it out so then it will sit really nicely on top of here and look like a cute little mushroom. Close up of what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just pushing this into this bottom part so it's all like smoothing in together, and so it's gonna look nice and smooth like that at the end instead of having this big cliff sort of situation happening. There are definitely tools that you can use to like smooth it down, but I find it so therapeutic just doing it with my hands. I think that's why I love creating things, because it gives my hands something to do, like my hands are busy. And then when you're ready to smooth out your shapes, I just like dip my finger in the water and that sort of helps to smooth out the clay a little bit. So both my cameras and my phone just died, but I've just attached the top of the mushroom to the bottom, and I don't know if you can see very well. I just used the method that I did last time, and then I've sort of just scraped both of the sides of clay together so they make one big piece. And that's also my door up close. I love how it's like asymmetrical. Normally I'm a very symmetrical person, but I feel like this one is gonna look perfect if it's not very perfect. I've got the oven on 120 and I'm gonna pop this in for 30 minutes and we'll see how it looks. It is now very early the next morning. I just let this dry overnight, but I reckon you could leave it for like 2 hours as long as it's really cold to the touch after you've put it in the oven. But I think it worked pretty well. I'll show you a close-up of the little cracks though. I probably could have joined the two pieces a little bit better, but for the most part, I think she looks very, very cute. So all the supplies that I'm gonna use to paint this, I got from Spotlight. I just got these little paints. I think the brand is Reeves, and that worked really, really well for our little planter pots that we did. And I just got these little, like, thing that you put the paints in. I don't know what it's called. And I've just got a little jar of water, some paint brushes that I got from, I don't know, a mixed bunch of places years ago. And yeah, that's paint. I'm gonna do the top red and then I'm gonna let it dry and then I'm gonna do white circles on top. my god, this is looking so cute. So I've just got a Listerine cap here, and I'm just going to use the smaller side of the circle to sort of trace, because I'm not very good at drawing circles by hand. Obviously you can make your little circles as big as you want. I was going to use like the little cap of the paint, but I feel like those circles would maybe be a bit too small for this mushroom. And then I'm just going to trace around it with a pencil. I've just got my little jar of water, got my little paint palette, and the white paint I'll be using for this one is the Byron brand. Just because it's a bigger paint tube, I feel like I'm going to need quite a lot of white to go over this red. I clearly haven't used this paint in a while, because as I opened it, this little piece of like dry paint came off. I'm going to leave this to set for about an hour, and then I'm going to go over the white, see how it looks, and then we can do the final glaze. I've also just put some Glad wrap around this paint just so it doesn't dry out, and so I haven't wasted that whole blob of white. I think that looks so cute. So the final thing you'll want to do, if you can hear chewing in the background, that's Ziggy. He's just got a little toy at the moment. The last thing you'll want to do is grab some gloss glaze. So I have this one just from Spotlight. I don't think it was too expensive, but basically just grab an old jar, put a bit of the glaze in the bottom, grab a paintbrush, and just paint over the entire thing. So like make sure all of your paint is dry, all your clay is dry, and once you paint this, it will turn into this really nice glossy finish. And this is the very last step before we can put it into the garden. I'm so excited to put this little mushroom in the garden. I just think it looks so cute, and I can't believe that I made this.